A very wild premiere night with the all-new Audi A5 Coupé that's today on Autogefühl, the #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars with Thomas. This one here, the new A5 Coupé, and also here the S5, the sports version. And you see this one here, of course, an even stronger look and more power beneath load. And how we got here? Well, we'll show you now the whole story. And we will start with some historic cars because we want to see where is actually all of this coming from. And this one here is a very special car. Doesn't look like it quite, but this one here, you have to pay at least about 450,000 euros because only 216 pieces were built. This one here is the Audi Sport Quattro. Special aluminum engine. This one here is supposed to be the very first that was built. And as they are only available in those limited pieces, also the prices rose. And already at that time, the car had 300 horsepower and acceleration 4.9 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers or 0 to 60 miles an hour. So really a rocket already at that time. And well, maybe something of this will also be featured in the new RS5 from this history here, because there will also be a lot of changes, of course, for the new car. Let's continue with one more car before we then check out the all-new model. And this one here already comes very close to the one we'll see very soon. It's not, the latest model here because the headlights have been changed in the facelift. This one here is the pre-facelift version, about 2010, 2011. And what you cannot see, that this one here is also a very special car. Also kind of priceless, it's unique. Only 2 or 3 have been built from those here. It's a special edition, not really been for sale, because underneath here what you see is an all aluminum chassis and also carbon fiber parts, so really a lightweight build. And they have built it for testing purposes and also to have it as a concept. So also very interesting that this one here also works, and something you don't see it really from the outside. But also for the all-new Audi A5, I can already tell you so far, also more aluminum is being used, and therefore it's supposed to lose about 100 kilograms of weight. Of course, the all-new A5 will also feature the basic form from the A4, so the MLB platform that is used for the Audi A4, the all-new one, the Audi Q7, and now also, of course, for the A5, because the A5 has always been the Coupé or the Sportback or convertible variant of the basic A4 sedan. Let's now check out the reveal.
RS5 Coupé.
So, and here now it is, the all-new A5 Coupé. We see it here, it's the normal version that will be available with a 2-liter TFSI or, for example, a 2-liter TDI or the 3-liter TDI for sure. And you see the main changes are really the headlights. You see it in the front. They have become way slimmer than the ones we had before and have a more clear design now. So in the front, before in the other model, the predecessor, with a different shape. And also what is very characteristic, that on the sideline here, it goes a little bit, you know, the wheel arches are very accentuated. Also, if we take a look at the hood, the design lines here, and the single frame grille has become even larger here now. Really great fish mouth. And it resembles a little bit, of course, of the A4, the sedan. But this one here has, I think, more emotion in its design. But the question is, well, from a car that has been delivered in 2007 by Walter de Silva, the famous designer, how can you make that one even better? It's of course very complicated. So I'm also looking forward to your comments. What do you think about this very new design here? One thing I'm not exactly sure of is if the front is very slim headlights, if they really fit to the side profile of the car. I'm not really sure about that yet. I have to take another look at that one. But you can see that in the side profile, this has relatively remained the same. Because here, this characteristic Coupé sideline, it's really kind of stayed the same. I think this is one of the most important points. It's not a real revolution of the car. Such a car that has already been that beautiful. Walter de Silva said, for example, it's the most beautiful car he has ever designed. Then maybe you also don't touch too much thing of that one. I think really remarkable is that we got a very sharp corner here. That is one of the major changes. So overall, the car looks sharper, definitely. But you think it hasn't changed so much, especially if you take a look at the basic side profile. If you just take a look at the side profile, maybe we could mistake it for the predecessor model. I think the front is really the game changer. We'll also take a look at the rear. How much has this changed, definitely? Because Audi tends to draw the lights also more into a horizontal way. Here now a clear look to the side profile. And you see, this is really what has changed the least way. Also those two color alloys, they have been available before already. I think it's still a very beautiful choice. Let's take a look at the rear maybe, because that will also be very exciting. And of course we don't have too much space here around, but you can see the taillights. They are drawn very widely around, also have this 3D effect here. So also this one here, I think is a very beautiful design dimension here. It's also a TDI and a Quattro, so all-wheel drive we got in here, right, for the A5. And we can directly take a look, for example, now has become a little bit broader, maybe just slide a little bit. And maybe look at the trunk directly, if we can open that one. So you have a sporty car, but still enough space. It's limited in height, but goes really wide in there. This one here is the S5, and you've already seen it. This will become a V6 engine, turbo V6 with 350 horsepower. Sporty spoilers, front and also in the side part. Contrasting mirror caps here in the aluminum style, very beautiful as well. And you see totally new door handles. They have accentuation on the top, and the spoiler here feels a little bit matte. This has been improved a lot because before those black spoilers, they were, you know, just in the black plain plastic mode. Also, you can see we have bigger brake discs with red brake calipers in the S style. Huge alloys with special sport tires. Let's see how big is this one. We can also always read that how big those alloys really are. Let's see, well, it's 20, so 20-inch alloys. I expected that. You don't get that automatically with the S5. You can pick that optionally, but I think it will come with maybe 18 or 19, and then you can top it up to the 20-inch alloys. And you can see still a very accentuated shoulder line here. This makes the car very strong, especially to the rear. Huge exhaust, chrome style, 2 here, 2 on the other side, and a huge diffuser in the middle part. So from the rear, I think this time maybe the rear is my favorite part of the new A5. I think they have really managed it very well. Reminds me a little bit of the all-new Skoda Superb, for example, also with those crystal-style rear lights. So my first conclusion as for the design is really that in the front I have mixed feelings, because I'm not sure if those headlights really match the side profile. The side profile as beautiful as ever, and I think in the rear we have a huge improvement. That's my design conclusion so far. Maybe let's take another look here at the S5 from the front. Here again, the front of the S5, you see a huge front grille, definitely, and sportier spoilers, you see at the lower part. And in this perspective, you see again what I mean, that we got a lot of different edges and sharp lines, so it's not that stringent in the design. And I think the biggest difference you can see if you take the pre-facelifted version I've shown you initially at the very start of the review. We didn't have so many design lines. Here, when you see, you can count a lot of different design lines here, mainly marked by those headlights. Same single frame grille basically, but stronger bumpers in the lower part. You can see this edge here, this accentuates the sportiness. The comp style here, with as well, it's not a real air intake, this is just fake, but they have, you know, not only done this matte plastic style they have used in the past, has a little bit of sparkling surface, nice detail they have paid attention to here. Those ones here are also the new headlights. We can take another detailed look at them, and it's kind of a mix between this twinkling eye effect and then those daytime running lights. It will be like this and this down here. So very interesting style they have dared here as well. Here is also good perspective to see the power dome lines that fly through here. Of course, in this, I think it should be the Misano red color as well. Even better to see the dividing of light and shadow already here at the front part. So which one do you like more? The S version or the normal version from the front? And we can also take a look at the interior here, the sport seats. You get genuine leather equipment in this case here, but I think there will also be some other options. The sport steering wheel, we know that one already, and of course we get resemblance to the new A4 model, the using of aluminum, matte aluminum style, and the climate functions we also have in the all-new A4. Then it's not illuminated at the moment, but there will be the new Audi virtual cockpit in here. So you can get that optionally, but you can also get the analog instruments as well. And there will be new infotainment system software then inbuilt here, but you can see it in the A4. Side support here with the seats. And well, for the rear part, there won't be so much space. You better get the A4, then this one is more a two-person car, definitely. In the middle part, you can also see there you can draw with your fingers, for example, if you still want to see some address in the GPS, for example. And the buttons, always right now, will be good. Very good Audi build quality. You also see solid materials being used at the inside of the door, and they can also use some Alcantara services here. I would like to see those also in the seats. Nice detail of this S logo with the illuminated entry cap also. And now we also have the possibility to have a calmer look at the interior of the S5 here. Of course, not the optimum light situations we have here. We also turn on down the entertainment. What I find very beautiful that we got those covers here in the matte aluminum style, also from a haptical part. You maybe also hear it, and it doesn't leave any fingerprints on. So a great build quality they have achieved here as well, also with the climate function buttons. But it's not special with the S version. You can pick different layouts also for the other versions. The aluminum parts also here in the middle console drawn back, and everything looks really stiff, let's call it that way. Those sport seats, you can lengthen the seating area here, by the way. Here, this is possible. And I'm looking forward to the prices, which options we'll probably have also with Alcantara on the inside. But I'm really sure that the normal A5 Coupé starts with cloth seats. Quite sure about that. Has been that way before, at least on the European markets. And then you can step up the seats. To compare those seats here from the seating comfort, well, the normal seats, they offer you a little bit more space. Here you more feel a little bit caged in. There's a side support is stronger. Well, if you like sport seats, those might be better, but in general, if you ask me for seating comfort, I think I would stay with the normal seats. However, I like that the steering wheel has here the flattened end. It's always good also for my legs. Also contrast stitches on the inside and a very good grip. And then as this one here even sits a little bit lower, will be about 50 millimeters lower, it also sits from the suspension, offers you also a great sporty ride. And why would you go for a mid-sized coupe and not for a true sports car? Well, that's exactly the point. Here you can still combine being a sports car and being an everyday, still comfortable car, whereas true sports cars are often, you know, kind of have no compromise. They're not focused on one way, being sporty, and you can rather forget them for everyday driving. And that's, I think, what makes this one here that attractive as a car concept overall. And here I activated the S5 virtual cockpit for you as well. You can also see the different setup here from the view. Let's see, no, it's still in the demo mode. But here you can see that you also have both on the left and the right side not that huge. And the normal infotainment screen, again, this is the normal setup you have here, and you can click that through, go to the GPS, for example. It's in German at the moment. And you see, as we have seen in the A4, you cannot retract that display. It's sticked on there. In the A3, you can hide it, but that's not possible in A4 or in the A5. And the rear seats also of the S5, the sport seats has a strip here where you can pull it, and also an electric control to move the seat forward. And here you have a view how it looks like in the rear. It's a little bit caged in there, but as I tested earlier, it's really more space than you would expect, so still okay. And later on there will also be the A5 Sportback version. Again, this one is also better for the access. But I would always go for the convertible, so looking also forward to the convertible version of that one. And the inside of the normal A5 version, the non-S version, let's call it that way, you can see, you can of course get aluminum on the inside of the doors here as well. But here in this case it's matte wood, and it's also a great style. It's not that, you know, old-fashioned, a little bit sporty. Even if you pick it in a darker tone, it fits to the Alcantara inside of the door. So very well done there as well. This wooden line is also kept throughout the interior. You can see it here, for example, the co-driver part with the Quattro logo. A great refined design. We can already see it right now, also with those nice clicking buttons, definitely. And the virtual cockpit is also online there. We can change the side to see that. And I'm taking first seat here in the co-driver seat in this case. And well, the basic seating position hasn't changed much. When I slide the seat all the way until the back, you see how much space here I really have. So there is a lot of space, definitely. And seat belt is also easily reachable when I'm sliding all the way back with the seats. But then behind me there won't be any space left for the rear passengers. Again, the matte wood style here I really like because it also has a great haptical feeling. And of course they're testing it all the way around. The dashboard here is quite hard from the plastics, just a little bit softened up.
Hey. Do you want to drive?
Maybe it would be better if it would a little bit more softened up in this case. Here the buttons, you can hear it. I can move the microphone further. Again, the good sound design when you turn the different buttons, and I'll take over the camera. This is the central infotainment screen. You can see it right here. Let's see if it's still not touch, but you can control it with the central knob. It's also illuminated here. I can show you. It's a nice illumination in this circle. There you can turn it left and right. But for example, it says you can maybe also zoom here now. Let's see on the touchpad. I don't know, doesn't do right now. I'm doing this here with turning left and right, zooming in and out, so just as we know it, but no, not possible here. So, and there is also the virtual cockpit, or we also know from the A4 or from the Q7. And again, you can pick that one optional. You can also change the view to make the RPM meter or the speed bigger or smaller again. Here we don't have the flattened end steering wheel as we've seen in the S version. This here the normal version with the normal round steering wheel, but still looks very beautiful. With the automatic transmission, Here in the P mode again, you can also lay your hand on that one and then something like this and then control this knob. This is also possible. This numpad here cannot use for a telephone. Those are hotkeys you can set to different favorites to let you, for example, scroll to a certain menu inside. Also the lower buttons, if you press them, they are from a very good build quality. Those ones are left out. Maybe if you pick some other optional stuff. And what I always like is you could just see that in the Bentley, for example, even the 12-volt power supply caps here, those are here in the real metal and with this quilted structure. I really like that they pay attention to so many details in this case. Now again here, a front look at the virtual cockpit as it just turned out. It's in a demo mode right now. Fuel standings at the right side of the cockpit here, by the way. So I've moved the seat a little bit forward here now to, let's say, a normal position where, you know, I still have enough space here for my legs. So that's just a minute for tall people in this car. Then I move to the back of the car and maybe get squished by someone else sitting in front of me. So at the moment, it's really hard already for me to get in. So it's again an exercise, and well, wow, I really have to store my feet here when I put down the seat. Well, it does fit with my legs. My feet are kind of caged in now. Headspace wise, you cannot see it that much, but there would still be like a little space above my head. So headspace wise, not the worst result actually. I could sit here. It's not the most comfortable position, especially for my feet. When someone puts the seat a little bit more back now, everything would be squished. But I mean, we have seen worse results with rear space in different coupes. So it's still quite okay. But again, if you want more space in the rear, probably then go, for example, electronically here. It's a good way also to get out again here. So that's a practically net here on the rear side of the seat. And we also got seat heating in the rear here. It's also a nice detail. So now I have to climb out again. Oh. Bang & Olufsen sound system optionally built in here, by the way. You can see more parts of the Bang & Olufsen sound system, by the way. Really huge system. Look at those speakers here behind the rear seats. And now, just where we belong, at the driver's seat. There it is. Yeah, basically it feels like the A4, but what you directly feel in the comparison, the car does sit lower, so you have directly a sportier feeling. So that's a main difference, definitely. The instruments, all of the buttons, again, as I said, they feel very good, high class quality. There's, by the way, a nice storage space here in the left part. You're going to see the big speaker from the Bang & Olufsen sound system. And again, the illuminated entry strip right here. Electric seat control in the front. We have the lumbar support right here and electric seats going front and back. And for the back part of the seats, those ones are not the standard seats, again covered with genuine leather. They still think that this one would be top high luxury, but a lot of Autogefühl viewers, that's not true. So, Audi Virtual Cockpit, I can maybe, no, it's still in demo mode. So if you go to the view button here, usually it would change. You can change the size of the different instruments, but here in the demo mode, it shows us different perspectives. Well, it's also not bad for those purposes. Here again, the middle console, again framed in this wood, and it reminds us also of the frame from the outer of the car to get the frame around. Temperature will be displayed right here, for example, and then you can click it maybe lower and higher, and temperatures will be here. Two-zone air conditioning will be in here, seat heating will be right here, and again to show you that one, because we have a little bit more time now, so we just pick those. And then on the right and left part, this is new, it's been newly introduced. You can scroll then through tabs, for example. That's also a new way to control the car. Nice illumination of the ring, isn't it? Beverage holders here in the front. See the rear, they are a little bit adaptive. And also below the armrest, there we will have two USB slots and an aux in. And this is a symbol here for wireless charging, inductive charging. a little bit hard with the light here tonight, but there you can also charge your smartphone. Headspace wise, okay, the roofline is lower also than in the A4. You know, I'm 1.86 m. There's still some headspace above me, or 6'1". It still works, but you feel a little bit more caged in than the A4, but it's also a little bit wanted because you have the more sporty approach. So if you desire to have a more sportier A4, that's definitely a choice, and still one of the coupes you can very well use in your everyday driving, because there can be people in the rear. And also the trunk, well, the entry to load things in is not, you know, that wide, but still a lot of things fill in there. Now it's clearing up here, less people, and a better look of the car. I'll move out of the picture for just a second. Then you have to take a clear side profile look. Wow, this is really beautiful. And I think it's already that beautiful because it stayed relatively the same. And unlike the front, where we have seen a lot of different design, here it's just like one distinguished design line over the door handles here. And I think that is what makes a car beautiful. If a car is beautiful by just a few design line, I think in automotive design also less is more. So especially from the side profile, the A5 has been and remains one of my favorite Audis overall, definitely. Well, what's your opinion about that one? Really looking forward to your opinion there in the comments. And now we also have a clear view on the non-S model, I call it that way, so we can move over and we can take a look at the side profile, maybe here also from the rear perspective. This very sharp design corner here stays the same. Almost looks like you could squeeze it in, and then you can see main difference is really that we have not that strong side bumpers. Other than that, here it's also optionally with 20-inch alloys mounted, and if you got those option on the normal A5, it already looks very sporty. So the main difference of the S version is of course beneath the hood with this huge power you have. Let's take a look beneath the hood here. This one here is the big diesel V6 TDI, so that's the 3-liter TDI we have here in the normal version, and not that huge engine layout as we will soon see in the S version, but it's already, for example, very nice that we get those 3D outing. I can touch them now because the engine is relatively cold now. That's really great that they're also paying attention to these details. And from the V6 diesel to the V6 petrol, this one here is also the massive S layout, and I like it that for you to see the parts of the red chassis that they continue in the engine part, and because also the S color is red. This one here is a relative, it has been running as well, and again 3D Audi logos right here. And well, on the official part they say that all engines have 20% more power and 20% less consumption, but that's quite often just on paper. The consumption of this one won't be really lower, because more power also means more consumption, and you know, I mean, if you have more power available, you usually also just use that one. So it's more like only with downsizing, for example, on paper. Also the new RS5 will have a downsizing and still more power. That won't be good for the consumption, but still power-wise it will be more than before. Again, beautiful engine layout, and those about 350 horsepower will surely deliver us a great performance. And now we also have a little bit more space to look at the rear again. You see this one here, you can really see the differences to the normal version with those 4 exhaust pipes, massive, from this V6 and also the S5 logo. And then you can see on straight. And I think, well, my favorite is actually the more than normal version, because it has more elegance. You know, I'm not that kind of guy who needs 4 exhaust pipes. I like to drive sporty as well, but you know, what's your opinion? Would you more go for the elegant version that's being photographed now as well, or would you more pick the sporty version? So I'm really looking forward to your feedback from the different versions here, and I hope I've given you a great insight here so far. So thank you very much for watching Autogefühl, this exclusive world premiere episode. We see each other at the next full review, for example with the all-new Audi A5 Coupé, then with the full driving part as well. Thanks and bye.